Popular history versus academic history. The thesis today will focus on while popular history can be used to teach high school history classes and introductory historical courses at the university level, only academic history should be used by aspiring and professional historians. This argument will be proven through examining the strengths and weaknesses of both academic and popular history. To give some background, Marshall Poe discusses historian Carl Becker in an essay Becker produced a number of years ago. In this essay, Becker explained that most contemporary historians accept that practices required of academic historians typically exclude amateurs from doing more than reading already published professional history. He goes on to say that the divide between academic and amateur historians is rising. Very few non-professional historians have the patience or interest of reading narrow historical publications in the required academic language. Marshall Poe goes on to discuss that the idea of investigating history through the examination of primary sources is not only foreign to all but professional historians, it's quite the challenge. And typically, when amateur historians do conduct research, they find it difficult to publish, and their work is also scorned in the academic world. Academic history are accounts that are told using primary sources, such as letters and official documents, typically found in national archives, as well as secondary academic sources. And typically, this is carried out by historians at the collegiate level. Popular historians are accounts that are told in the narrative or prose format, and this allows the audience to feel a personal connection to the events being researched. This is typically carried out by non-professional historians. The strengths of academic history, as Todd Esty shows us, is that professional academic history shows both sides of an argument or a proposal. There's evidence to explain but refute different points of view, and numerous primary and secondary sources have been used. The argument he makes to support this is by examining David McCulloch's work, which is considered popular history. And he asks the question, McCulloch works on John Adams, shows that Adams was phenomenal, but if he was as phenomenal a leader as portrayed, why didn't he win a second term as president? There's no negative side shown. Academic history shows both sides of an argument. But a weakness focuses on the fact that it's very difficult to spark interest of a topic in non-historians. And McCulloch's work as a popular historian did spark interest in John Adams. Popular history. Michael Nelson writes in The Good, the Bad, and the Phony, 6 famous historians and their critics, writes about Michael Betzlos. He's not a trained historian. He's considered a political historian. But even though he doesn't have this training as a professional academic historian, his bachelor's in political science, his master's in journalism, he spends more hours researching in archives than anyone knows. But he has a lot of personality, and this has made him quite a pop culture celebrity. Even though he doesn't have a PhD in history, he knows quite a bit about what he's writing. His strengths is that he writes in a language that non-academics easily comprehend, and this reignites interest in certain fields. But some of the weaknesses is that popular history is kind of more of a report of what actually happened, as opposed to a deep analysis of primary and secondary sources for new ways of looking at evidence. It's not always reliable, and this is because the person researching typically lacks proper research and writing skills because they don't have the proper training. So the last question to look at is, should academic and popular history be used together? And popular history often asks questions about social habits and culture and writes about events of general interest. And a great example of this is Philippa Gregory's Tudor series. It reignited interest in the Tudors. But a lot of what she wrote about was speculation based on research she had done. Academic historians engage in quantitative methods and deep analysis of archives, records, personal accounts, and legal documents to find a new perspective of the cause or effects of historical processes, a great example being Carl Becker. So should they be used together? No. But should they be used apart, popular history to spark interest, to informally inform the reader? Yes. Academic history to help develop new skills? Absolutely. Use them apart. Popular history first, academic history second.